Okay, we good. Sorry, ahead of time because I know some of you were like, you're like, woo, announcement, you know, and I did say, oh yeah, announcement. I think the last stream I was like, hey, you should come by Wednesday. There was even someone in my tweet earlier. I was like, oh yeah, I've a, you know, stream at 2 and then announcement at 3, and someone was like, they brought out the joke. They're like, I bet she's finally joining VShojo, and I was like, I found it really funny, but at the same time, I was like, oh man, that poor person. Hey, you could still make those jokes, but obviously, you know, here we are, right? In case any of you are not Twitter users. Okay, so VShojo tweeted out, dear community members, we would like to share that Geega will be parting ways with VShojo as of June 27th, 2025. That's this Friday. So I'm still in the group right now, and then my last day will be Friday. So as of Saturday onward. Geega has been an incredible member of VShojo since she joined in 2023. This is true. Her humor and collaborative spark have changed, or shaped rather, VShojo's culture, and we're excited to keep cheering her on in this next chapter. That is true. The impact that she has had on VShojo will not be forgotten on stream and behind the scenes. That's very true. Geega will keep her IP, and we wish her the best on this journey moving forward. Any merch on the website will still be available for purchase until June 27th. You still have like 48-ish hours to get anything on there. Thank you for your understanding and continued support. Sincerely, VShojo team. Time for Geeka's rejoining jokes. Oh, it's... Yeah, no, it's definitely gonna happen. Okay, here's mine. I said, as of June 27th, that's this Friday, I'm terminating my contract with VShojo and will be an independent creator once again. This decision took a long time to come to terms with, but it's definitely the best choice for my future. I love my members in VShojo more than I could ever say. I'll always be their friend and support. There's no world in which I want to be without them, both as a creator and as a person, and that's something that does not require a contract with an agency to still hold true. I'm wishing all the remaining girls and our dog success always. I'd especially like to thank my manager at VShojo, Kenzo, for always doing his absolute best for me and making the most of our time working together. Love you lots. This is true. As far as my streaming goes, nothing will change from this. As an indie, I handled pretty much everything myself, can easily do so again. Nothing changed when I joined, and nothing's changing as I leave. I have a lot of cool projects coming up very soon. I'd appreciate everybody's support. And then I wrote, I'll see you on stream soon, but I'm actually streaming right now, so I'm... Okay, I guess you can ask questions now. To preface this, yeah, someone said, I suppose the Y is under NDA. Yes and no. Obviously, I have a currently, it'll be terminated Friday, but I have a currently active contract with the company, which has a lot of things in it. I cannot give you contract details. I have an NDA with the company. I cannot tell you what's in the NDA, etc. Right? So there will be things that I cannot talk about. A lot of my reasoning is stuff that I cannot talk about. There will be some things that I can, or there will be a lot of things that maybe I can speak about a bit vaguely, but I can't actually give you real detailed information. I'm not going to give you any like timelines that I can't, stuff like that, you know? So yes, if there's anything that you hear someone say that I did not explicitly say myself, they saw it in a dream and made it the fuck up, is what I'm saying. Okay? So if I talk about something, it's real. If I don't talk about it, somebody wrote a fanfic on Twitter and you should ignore it. Got it? Said, I know it's hard to discuss, but what benefits do you have as an indie? Like, why leave? That's not hard to discuss. Future is very easy. Did you have dental? No. No, we didn't have healthcare. We did not have salaries or payments or healthcare or like that. No. Benefits as an indie. So basically, I can do all the same things as I could do, but I get to do them myself. There are fewer layers of people in between me and the thing I'm trying to do. Like, it's more direct. I can hire my own staff in. Instead of being handed some staff, if I want to hire someone for a purpose, I just pick them. Realistically, you can do all of the exact same things. You know, yeah, it's just streamlined. And I think that for me and the way I like to work is going to be a lot better. Some people don't want to think about it. Some people don't want to do any of that stuff. They want it out of sight, out of mind. I don't. Can we still make jokes about you joining anymore when a new member joins VShojo? You can make whatever jokes you want. If nothing changed when you joined and nothing's changing now that you're leaving, why did you join? That's a good question. I thought more would change was part of it. But then, you know, you don't really know until you work in the environment. But as I was in there more, I was like, oh, it's the same. And part of that is because of me, because I'm the type who wants to have my hands in things. I want a lot of control of everything I do. I don't need to have control of every little thing. There was still stuff that they did for me. Absolutely. But yeah, I'm a doer, right? I'm a doer. So because of that, you know, I was not the type to be like, hey, you handle this. Don't tell me about anything until it's done. Like, just hand me a finished project. I still was just very involved with everything. So the only difference was like, they also got a cut of some stuff, which was the arrangement, you know? And I was like, but I do it myself a lot of the time. So it just didn't make sense for me. That's at least a part that I can talk about because you already know what that arrangement is. We've already talked about this stuff before, like, oh, this is what they do and this is what they get. Can we hold a funeral for you like that one time with How to Car? I do that for models if I'm retiring one. So I guess there's a ton of behind the scenes stuff that changes. Yeah, there is. As far as streams, projects, and friends go, it's good across the board. Like the differences you'll see more so are going to be things like if you go to a convention and there's a VShojo booth, you won't see my face on it. If there's a bunch of merch with a bunch of VShojo members, you won't see my face on it. I don't think you guys will really feel much of the difference other than, if anything, I think a lot of stuff you'll see things faster because, like I said, when there are fewer people involved in something, fewer cooks in the kitchen, and I'm just directly doing a lot of stuff, I think that makes that easier for me for timelines and keeping that all together. And then, yeah, on the person who was asking about like then why join kind of thing, really it was more about being able to be in a group with people I was already friends with, I was already doing content with. It just made a lot of sense to make it official because I think from your guys' perspective, there's like a mystique around a group, right? It feels like something, even if it's not much different from some people being in a Discord together, making a Twitter, slapping a logo on it, like just doing that feels special, even if behind the scenes there doesn't have to be a lot for that to happen. That's kind of what I wanted. But functionally, it wasn't really different for me just being friends with everyone, messaging them a lot, doing things with them. As far as group projects, we did some merch things together, but that was, there wasn't really a lot beyond that I felt like I had to be in the group for, and I was there to be with my friends, right? I think for marketing purposes, some people will feel really different about it because you do see like a lineup of characters and you're like, ooh, it's a thing. But functionally as a streamer, it's like not that different for me. There's that mystique, which I think is cool. I really like that. And I do genuinely want that. But VShojo is not a group of creators. It's a group of creators who are all signed, not as a group individually. They're all signed to a company, right? VShojo is the company. So we all have individual contracts with the company. So if there's something that I don't want in that relationship, I can't have the group of creators without the company, right? Like it's obviously tied together. It's all one thing. The company is owned by people who are not talents. It's owned by people, and then they have individual contracts with us. That's all. So if I don't want that part, you can't have one and not the other. So that's really what that comes down to. That's kind of why I specified in my tweet, like, hey, I really love the members because it's completely not about them, this decision. Like they have nothing to do with the decision other than making it really hard for me to leave. Like, because even when you do a thing, you're like, oh, it's just a business thing. I don't want that part. No, not at all. But like I said, you have to have both, right? So I have to do what's most important for me. And like I said, they're a DM away. I can collab with them. None of that really changes. Anything that we did together for the most part to begin with was just stuff that we facilitated. Even events, even like the stamp rally, for example, like staff helped with that. Yes, it was the VShojo stamp rally, but that was an idea I had. I wrote up what I wanted to happen. I came up with everything. I introduced it to everyone in a meeting. And I said, I think we should do this to promote more one-on-one collabs because people would love to see it. And then what staff did was after I wrote up everything, I handed it to them and they just did like the scheduling and made some graphics to post on Twitter. But that was like my project. And that's how our song covers members have talked about this. It's a member saying, I want to do this. And then they work on that project. So a lot of the stuff that we did together as a group was just our own projects that like we feel like we owned, we did on the back end. So, I don't really feel like I can't do that still with them, So that was really a big part of it was I was like, the contract and the piece of paper doesn't really affect our ability to just do that or want to do that. So, okay, So is this similar at all to Matara leaving? Yes and no, I can't really give detail. I will say for me personally, I chose to leave. I went to them and I said, hello, it's me. I am invoking this. I'm going to leave by X date. That's how mine occurred, as much as I can say. Is this actively ending the contract early or just choosing not to renew? My renewal date is actually supposed to be somewhere in August. I could say that much. I'm not going to give specifics. But yeah, it was me. Like I said, the process, as much as I can tell, is just me going to them and saying, hello, I want to leave by X date. But yeah, my renewal would have been 2-3 months out from now, a little bit further. This was completely unexpected. Yeah, I didn't tease it, or I I don't think I would have been like allowed to, but I didn't give any indications or anything like that. Yeah, sorry. I also feel like the way I run things though, I don't think much will change for you guys. Nothing personal. I mean, hey, that's why I shouted out my manager in particular. Like, he was one of the most wonderful people that I could work with. I'm not being like, fuck you guys, you know? like I wanted to shout him out specifically because he was great. Do you have a 401k though? No. Again, there was no salary. There was never me just getting handed money. There was never any benefits. We were not W-2'd. Sometimes I see people say that actually in like YouTube comments or on Twitter. People will say like, oh man, something that VShojo bank. And I'm like, we pay them. What do you mean? They don't like pay. I don't know. People say some crazy stuff sometimes and I'm like, that's not how that works, man. We've talked about that before. Why not wait for renewal to leave? I wanted to leave, so I sent them notice that I was leaving. That's all. He said, I don't know much about this. Does this change who you can collab with? No. The company has never, ever, ever done anything to restrict what we can do with whom. There might be the occasional like recommendation, suggestion. That is the most. At the end of the day, anything we choose to do is just what we choose to personally do. They have never had control of that. So that is no different from if I was an indie or not. If anything, there might be times where people are like, oh, it'd be fun to do a thing with just us, with just VShojo. That's a thing that happens, but it's only in a positive direction of more happening between members. There's no negative like, oh, don't do things with so-and-so, don't do things with people out of the group. That never was the case. So yeah, so me being independent, it just means like I DM them the same way as I always did. Hey, do you want to play Peak? You know? Will this affect sponsorship opportunities? Yes and no. I think it'll actually affect it positively for me. So they always took a chunk of all sponsorships. Now they won't. However, when it comes to getting sponsorships, I almost always did that myself or with another agent anyway. The sponsorships I did through VShojo were, we did that Nikkei event. We did, I think really early on, I did the Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. I have G Fuel. They facilitated the Monster Hunter one, but I already had a contact as well. Like I could have done that either way. That was it. Everything else I've ever done with sponsorships has been me and my own team, more than 95%. I think from your perspective will not change. There might actually just be like more because I'm the type to reach out a lot and I'll probably be doing more of that easily. Cheeky ain't going anywhere. Yeah, my best sponsor, Cheeky, will always be here. Cheeky soap, please wash yourself. I enjoy when people are clean in my chat. Thank you. And you guys know, if you've watched me a lot, whenever I have like a couple of sponsorships back to back, I'm like, oh man, there's been so much work. I have so many sponsors coming up. I've been messaging so many people. Like, it's always been clear, if you listen, that like I was doing a lot on the back end for a lot of that stuff myself, arranging those things with myself, or having like one member on my own staff that I've hired in to like work on that with me and to be contacting people, etc. So that workload is what it is still, right? And you know, I'm not a small creator, but I'm not so huge of a creator that cuts of things being taken out, like little bits of profit being moved around and not going to me, like is something to just sneeze at, right? Like it is a big deal to me, so I have to really consider that. I think if I made crazy fuck you money, it might not matter as much, but I don't. I don't. So yeah, it's very important to me to like make sure I'm thinking about that stuff and not just being like, oh, it's fine. So no networking benefits. I mean, it's, if you are in a larger group that has like a lot of staff, because we had a lot of staff, it is maybe easier sometimes because one person might be like, oh, I have connected that thing if you wanted to talk to that person. But at this point in my career, I already have those. Or I already have a guy who knows a guy in a lot of situations. So it doesn't really change that much for me. Not really for me, maybe for some people, but I'm good. I'm really, honestly, I'm really well connected. One of the things I do best is network with people, especially on the back end and everything. I'm social. I like to talk to people. I like to build connections and see, oh, how can I help you? How can you help me? Let's work together on something, right? And I build a lot of really good connections because I'm like that. Will this affect the G Fuel sponsorship? Yes and no. I can't comment on anything that's going on with that until some things are figured out. That's one of the things that we're still figuring out. There's a lot of small things to still be tied up, loose ends still going. When I have something to say on that, I'll let you know. So this is a congrats and not a damn I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's bittersweet. I'm not going to seem, hey, sorry for not crying on stream. I'm not going to seem really emotional because I've known this was going to happen for quite some time. I've already processed it. So I'm I'm good. You know, I'm good. Yeah, it was absolutely like an incredibly sad thing for me. So it might be a little different for you guys because obviously you're just hearing about this now. Yeah, apologies for not being super emotional. It's just, you know, I've been able to sit there and process it, so it's different now. Is Henya still your Oshi? Of course. Like I said, nothing changes between me or anyone or whatever. Like, those are friendships. Those are not like corporate mandated, I simply must DM them once a week kind of relationships or anything like that. So we're good. Any specific reason for the timing on this, or maybe not something you can say yet? No. I just know someone will like close their eyes, have like a weird spice dream, and then open their eyes and type some shit on Twitter that never happened. They'll be like, she left because of this, or something crazy. People love doing that. How are the other VShojo members reacting to this? They can talk about it, or they could. And hey, also if they choose to not say anything about it either, don't bother them. But how does this make you feel? I know I'm speaking about this all matter of fact. This is really sad for me, genuinely, because like when I joined, I didn't join with the intent to leave or like thinking like, oh, I'll probably leave it the next time, or, you know, oh, 50-50 on if it works out. I didn't join like that. I joined thinking like, you know, this is what I want to do and I'm just going to go for it. And I think that's really clear when you look at how much I've talked about the company, when you've looked at like my just go look at my YouTube channel. Look at the videos I've made. Right? And look at how much I've centered so much of my content on trying to do like good, positive PR. Let's talk about these things. Let's clarify things. I've spent so much back end, and what you can see as well, so much time on this. So I think it should be really obvious for anyone looking at it. I was in it to win it kind of thing, right? Yeah, can't say I didn't try really hard on that front or anything like that. I think if I joined because I wanted to leave within a short amount of time or something, which it's not. I've been here for 2 years, but still, all the evidence is there that like I put a lot of effort into it. So just to be clear, this isn't a long con for you to leave, then join VShojo to put an end to the Geega's joining VShojo meme, is it? No. No, I would not pull that fucked up of a joke. If I ever do any sick jokes, they will purely be about me and not about anyone else or dragging anyone else in. I am down for some sick jokes, only if they're specific to just me, okay? How will this affect Nagi's harem plan? If she'll have me, I'll still be a part of that, 100%. That's the thing, is it's just personal choice between everyone, right? If she wants to leave me on the chart, I will gladly stay on the chart, man. Would you ever go back to VShojo? What would it take? No. I think that'd be pretty weird. I can't tell you what it would take, because then again, I'd start getting into like all details and semantics that I shouldn't talk about. And you know me, I love talking about business. I love talking about details and stuff, but like it's stuff that's like NDA, you know, like I can't. What I could say is if they sold it to me, if I had like $1 billion, okay, and they sold it to me, I'd be like, hell yeah. No, I don't have $1 billion. For those asking, thank you for asking. No, I do not have $1 billion. I do not have $1 million, unfortunately. But also, you know, we already talked about this. If I had crazy money, my number one idea is I want to buy a bunch of wild land and keep it for conservation and not let anyone touch it. That's my dream. So, you know, I'd probably be focused on that. Love this. I don't really have anything to say about you leaving VShojo. I'm just going to keep on watching. Hey, thanks. You watch streamers for the streamer, not the org. Yeah, and even as someone who's been a part of a corpo for a long time, I have always been a proponent of that. I've always said people should do that for that reason. I've talked about it at length. If you're spending hours watching someone, it better be because you like them, right? I mean, you see it with Matar having left previously as well. Do you really feel like a lot changed? I really don't. I like this one. You just considered us as like VShojo alumni that can still participate in selected college activities. Kinda, yeah. I mean, before I joined, let's be real, I was the only non-member who was just also in the VShojo Minecraft server, right? I was just in that shit. And it wasn't even a teaser about me joining. I had not been asked to join or anything. I was just there as a friend. Okay, VShojo's always been like that. If a lot of people are like, yeah, we want this friend to join this thing, they'll be like, okay. Right? Because again, the talents control like those types of decisions, like who can be on the Minecraft server, who do we hang out with, things like that. There are also things they don't control. There's a lot of stuff that's definitely like what staff have decided, etc. And that's the kind of stuff where I'm like, well, I could just do this under my own umbrella. Remember people being surprised you weren't already in VShojo when you joined? Yeah. Yeah, there were a lot of people that were like, oh, I thought she was in the group. And I'm like, you know, when I announced that I was joining, they were like, oh, Like, you know, I always thought it was weird you didn't have it in your Twitter name. I think more people will hear about me leaving than like the number that heard about me joining. Complete honesty. It's a headline, Geega assassinated. I can't believe she's gone, dude. He said, I'm gonna be real, I don't really understand what VShojo is outside of like a general corpo streamer thing. Honestly, I'm sort of fine not knowing. It's a brand. He said it'll be clipped and shipped before the stream ends, and the comments will be standard issue YouTube comments. Oh yeah, oh yeah. People just claim stuff always. I remember the other day, I was looking through a comments section, and someone just like said definitively, like, she was born in this country, and I was like, I've never stated where I was born, but someone with full confidence was like, I am certain, I know which country she was born in. It was a really good guess. It's one most people would guess, but they said it with their whole chest like it was knowledge, and I was like, people really just type stuff, huh? Also, it sounds like it was nothing horrible or bad, just things happen and people had different opinions. All I've said is that we had differences. If anyone asks if they try to personify something as good, as bad, as whatever, all I want you to say is there were differences. That's all. A few people I saw you ask like, oh my God, is your workload going to go up? I really don't think my workload will go up. I think it'll shift in what I'm putting the time into. It'll be similar, but it'll be focused on better stuff. Like, looking forward to the more YouTube stuff because that's mainly where I watch you. Yeah, I mean, my clips channel is really active. I want to do more frequent posts of normal ass videos on my normal ass channels and like my main and my highlights channel. We're going to be doing that 100%. I don't know if it'll be my next video or within the next couple, but I'm going to record a thing with Matara that I have being worked on. I have a bunch of stuff that I completely got the plans together, and all I had to do was grab some people to film it. But then I put it aside because I was trying to see, oh, could I do this, but it's VShojo? Could I do this, but, you know, like that sort of thing. So I'll kind of like wipe the dust off of those and just do them. And a lot of that stuff, like the legwork for a lot of these videos and projects is done basically, right? And I just have to film it. Yippee, right, Mata? Yippee. Ruffs, you asked, my only question is, will the VShojo channel in the Mob Army Discord disappear? I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. I used to have a channel in my Discord that was like just VTubers. You could talk about any VTubers. However, it was the channel that my mod team, I felt so bad for them. They had to moderate the most. They had to prune so much shit. They had to control discussion and stop people from getting too crazy about things constantly. So I closed it down entirely. I just got rid of it. And I was like, you know what? This is my Discord. You can talk about me. If I do a thing with a friend you want to talk about, that's okay. But like, I just closed it because it was like, it's creating all this work for my mods who do this for free. You know, I didn't want to overload them. Yeah, you said the VTuber chat took more time to moderate than the entire rest of the Discord combined. I know, we kept track of this, and I was like, I'm not doing this to my mods. Then when I joined, I was like, I think it's okay to open a channel for this because it's specifically just like this smaller group. We can handle that. I don't know how I want to do it because I like you guys being able to talk about a small group of my friends. But when I have a general VTuber channel, it's going to be that like thing again where it becomes crazy for the mods to moderate it. So I'll think about it. People get so passionate about their guesses and assumptions. Passionate's a good way to put it. Passionate is a very nice way to put it. That's really what it is, though. People would get like overexcited and pop off in those types of chats. So, you know, are you starting your own agency with Madara? What? What makes you think that? I genuinely, like, I'm not like anti-corpo. I'm not anti-agency or anything like that. I know some people are going to say weird shit and be like, oh, people that were corpo went indie. Indie's the only way. I still think that groups and things can exist and work and function. I just don't want to do it unless I'm more so, I don't want to say necessarily an owner, but I'm controlling a lot more of it. What I'm going to do rather than like just immediately trying to create something, I'm just going to go project-based. I think people marry themselves to the idea of groups and things, and then they feel like they have to make that group work. Instead, I'm going to talk to some people and go, let's do this one project, and we do that one project. And that way you guys will still get the experience of getting group shit happening. It just doesn't have to be a specific company with people definitely signed to it or anything. Like, it doesn't need all of that for these cool things to happen. I think that's the better format for me. You know, change clothes? I have 20 of these in my closet. I should have brought out the puppet. There we go. Does that lighten the mood? You can ask the puppet any questions if you're struggling. You feel emotionally supported now? Good, good. Are you leaving because of us? You sound like a child in a divorce. Is the puppet still in VShojo? I should give the members the puppets so they can use it. Puppet, what's the meaning of life and how do I process these heavy feelings I have from being a nihilistic doomer millennial? You don't. There is no meaning. She hates us. Exactly. Grr, grr. That's why nothing's changing and you can all still come here to any stream whenever you want. Can you turn off the mouth movements on your model so it looks like you're a ventriloquist? What model? I'm not a ventriloquist, okay? That's your birthday, by the way? Yeah, take that. I changed my answer, guys. I picked that date because it's that guy's birthday. Specifically wanted my end date to be on that guy's birthday. That's why it's happening on Friday. If anyone says it's for any other reason or tries to make some shit up, they made it up, okay? I'm doing it because it is that guy's birthday. Don't forget. You're leaving? Damn, that was a short book of journey. It was like 2 years. How long did you think you were going to be in VShojo initially? Forever. As long as my career lasted, probably. I did figure like maybe nothing lasts forever, so I was like maybe, I don't know, like 10 years or some shit. Like eventually, what if things just kind of peter out? You know, it's really, things like this last as long as the people in them want them to last. So I don't know. I didn't have like a thought in my mind, but I was just like, I'll just be there until it dies. Right? That was the initial plan for sure. Here, actually, wait, I'll do it like this. Are you ready? Okay. I looked at everything and I said, the best fit for me is me as far as working on stuff goes. I want to do things in the way I want to do them. I want to work with whomever I want to work with, just hire people in for certain things. So I don't really have like written bullet points. As far as like financial stuff too, no one will take a cut of things. Or not no one, but like no company will take a cut of things. The way I work, I always did a lot of stuff myself anyway, so it makes sense for me to do it independently. I'm like my own producer a lot of the time, my own strategist, my own coordinator, all of that. And if I need to utilize someone's time, I'll just ask someone and hire them for some hours. Yeah, just full control of everything. I think that's what it is. I wanna handle myself, like all financial, all legal, all merch execution, all operations, where my time goes, myself. Sponsorships. And myself doesn't necessarily mean like I will send every email. I will spend every minute doing every bit of the work. I will still have people that I hire to do certain things or that I ask for a few hours from or whatever. Every indie who does a lot has a team, but I always had that to begin with on my own. Is it weird I'm somehow paying more attention now? Is it like Subway Surfers? But also specifically, there's this one chatter whose birthday is on Friday. So my number one reason realistically is I just really wanted to do this on that guy's birthday. Okay, don't forget.